Hi, thank you for returning. I am here to do Divine Feminine messages for July. I didn't finish the June one, so we're just going to start over. And I remember, actually, I intended to do every other month. Masculine one month, feminine the next month. So I may get back to what I originally intended. But anyway, we're here to do Cancer, Divine Feminine Energies. Messages for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, Divine Feminine Energy. Happy birthday, Cancer. My readings are not gender nor sexuality specific. I read the energies of masculine and feminine, and I also read intuitively. So, messages, Spirit, for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, Divine Feminine messages. What's going on with Cancer? Hearing something about safety. Safety, you want to make changes in your stability. I don't feel like anybody is feeling like physically unsafe, but usually if safety comes up, it's to do with your root chakra. So it may be like an ending of cycles or changing, evolving. We have build here, which is cattail. Cattail is a fern. What is this for Cancer, Divine Feminine Energies? It's giving rebuild, relearn, restructure, repurpose. I just feel like you're trying to change. Like I said, safety comes up when it's something to do with the foundation, the root chakra. It's your first chakra. It's to do with your ancestry. Just feel like you're trying to change something in terms of your stability. You may want more money. You may want more children. You may want to connect and get married. You may want to expand business wise. You may want to end cycles. This really could be anything with this build, but it's really giving like you want to make some changes in terms of your foundation. It's giving like releasing old ways of being. So however this resonates with you, this could be money, relationships, family, economics, this could be business, whatever this is. Like with this build here, you're trying to change your foundation of where you came from, what you were taught, what you learned in any aspect, whether it be career, friendship, parenting. You know, it's to do with your tangible, what you have in this physical, this 3D world. So that could be like literally anything. It could be how you make money, how you relate to people, how you relate to yourself. Just giving your physical surroundings in this physical world. Clarify this in the 3D for Cancer, Divine Feminine placements. There's a fear though. There's a fear of this change for Cancer, Divine Feminine. Because you feel like if I make these changes, if I rebuild, if I build, some of y'all is like, if I build on top of this old foundation, which I wouldn't recommend, because I mean, unless you're gonna make some major repairs or tear it down and rebuild the old foundation, that don't really make sense, because you're tearing it down. Like building on top of something that is already not stable, that's just like hazard, caution, danger zone. You know, that's not good. But some of y'all, there's some fear. Clarify this in the 3D. For Cancer, Divine Feminine places. There's a fear of this rebuilding, you know, this making changes, because you feel like you'll lose people, situations, money, you know, in terms of if you're thinking about switching careers and making money different. But you will lose. I mean, you're thinking about it. You want to rebuild, you want to restructure, so you will lose what is not serving you anymore. What you're gonna lose what motivated you to rebuild in the first place. But you know, some of you feel like the change may cause you to lose all the way around in areas you didn't anticipate, and it may. But you gotta think about, is it them or me? Is this what's best for me? Is it worth it? Are you so tired? It's just giving, you know, the energy of get rich or die trying. Are you so tired of this relationship, these old ways in love that you were taught, that you're willing to tear all this shit down? Whoever you lose, fine, but you will gain even more. Are you willing to have faith? You know, because it's really giving what you're trying to do, Cancer. You have to be in the energy of walking by faith, not by sight. There's some trickery involved here. We have Agatha Christie, trickery. This is some unseen. Yeah, this is some unseen here. This is why you want to rebuild. You're tired of the pitfalls. You're tired of the, like, what now? You're tired of the, you know, and I feel like, Cancer, you may have been talking to somebody and they may laugh it off or provide some type of clarification, but chuckle in the sense like, that's the same thing your grandma went through, or your granddad, or your father, or, you know, and they chuckling like, you know, as if like, well, you know, I mean, it makes sense because that's what they went through. Yours was a little different, but that's what they went through. So like I said, it's a safety thing in terms of your root chakra. It's something you inherited that you're trying to let go. But you feel like it's like, why didn't nobody tell me that? And a lot of times people don't know to tell you, but also there's some shame involved. There's some deception because we're talking about trickery anyway. And you think about the experience that you had that you're being told somebody else in your family went through. This is not a good experience. So whether they did it to somebody or experienced it, you don't want to just run and tell, you know, anybody. But my thing is some of this that has occurred in your bloodline before, Cancer, these people don't have the wherewithal to say, hey, you know, if you run into something like this and it does this, then you might need to rethink this. Like if it quacks like a duck, then it's a duck. If it talks like a duck, if it walks like a duck, and it's a duck. And you might be allergic to ducks. So it's just like, you know, they didn't know to tell you, but there's still some unseen, some unrevealed, because the person you may be talking to or somebody else may be on the outside looking in. Like, so if you talking to like an elder in terms of wisdom, they ain't even got to be nobody older than you. But if you're talking to somebody that's an elder in terms of wisdom, and your family in your life, because they ain't even got to be a family member, they could be just close to your family and know the things that your family went through and resonate, right? You talk to somebody that has this wisdom, they're telling you, they're like, well, you know, that happened to such and such, your auntie so-and-so, or your uncle or your cousin, they was right there. And it's like, wait a minute, they was right there when it happened? Well, they was there when it happened to me, and they ain't say nothing and all this other stuff. That may be the trickery. So it could be somebody involved that could have warned you and didn't. Because it's giving with this build here. You want to rebuild because you're tired of the pitfalls. You're tired of the setbacks. You're tired of the mistakes. You're tired of what I didn't know. And I resonate with that because there were times I was doing my healing or whatever, where I would do healing with the moon. And it was just like, I'm releasing all that no longer serves me. Because I didn't know what I didn't know. There were unknowns that were unknown to me, and there were known knowns, and then there were, you know, a vibration of known unknowns. And when I say that, like, I knew there was some type of theft or thievery in my lineage, in my bloodline, but I didn't know the specifics or how far people went, you know, to obtain, to take, to steal, to rob, you know. So I release things like, well, I release what no longer served me in terms of mischief, thievery, in terms of manipulation, you know, any way that things tangibly, physically, or energetically that can be used to trick somebody with this trickery and this energy here of mystery, you know, because I didn't know all the pitfalls. So I just was like, I released what no longer served me on the DNA and the cellular level. Like, I just feel like you're trying to rebuild and you don't know in all places that you have to build. And it makes sense because these family members ain't telling you. And some of them, even if they know, they're not going to tell you. However, you can still let this shit go. I'm saying all that to say this. If you need help with that, send me an email. And we can get specifically in your stuff. But like I said, you're building because you are tired of the pitfalls. This clock says 10:30. 10:30, 10, 1, 33. So we got 1 and a 3 equating to a 4. A 4. It's giving stability again. It's giving 4. It's giving foundation. It's giving root chakra. 4 represents stability here. And you're feeling unstable with this deceit. But I also feel like with Agatha Christie, you know, she did Hercule Poirot. I might have pronounced it wrong, but you get it. What's the one with the train and Death on the Nile? And it's one of my favorite movies, and now I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, you know Agatha Christie. So there's a lot of trickery. There's usually a lot of parties involved, motives, and bullshit. These could be family members, because you got a lot of things on this table that can end life. We have a noose here. We have poison. We have a knife. And it looks like something is coming out of that bread. That can be contaminated. More than likely, the tea may be contaminated too. And then we have a candelabra here. There are a lot of movies, mysteries, old school that was written in her day, Agatha Christie, where the candelabra was a weapon of murder. So I feel like this could be like you don't even trust your family members. What is this again in the 3D for Cancer? All right. Cats. You see this though. You see who it is. You see who you side-eyeing. You see it. They're giving you reason to have just cause to pull back, to rebuild. Some of y'all is just creating family somewhere else. With this cat here, you see it though. And this is also given intuitively. You see what it is you have to do. There is some fear behind it because you feel like you will lose, but you got to think about it. You're losing already. That's why you want to rebuild, because you're losing already. You know, you just like, I'm so tired of this. Every time I turn around, it's supposed to be. And the bottom of the deck is future. The bottom of the deck, we have freedom here. This card has never come out. Charlotte Perkins Gilman. These are literary books. But this card is freedom here. That's what's in your future once you push through with this building. All right, and then we have Wolf come out. What is this? The Cancer. You need to be ferocious in this healing and rebuilding. Like, it's really giving putting yourself first. And I'm getting a tone of isolation, if that's what you got to do. Because, you know, a lot of times when people see that you are changing, you're doing different things, you're moving different, they try to come and stop it, contaminate, create obstacles, things like that. Especially if you have children. You know, the other person you have children by, they try to, when you moving on, they try to come. Now they want to act right. Or even if they don't want to act right, they just want to create enough chaos. So the person or where you trying to move on is not an option anymore, where you trying to move on to. So, but it's giving you need to be ferocious about your healing and your rebuilding with this wolf energy, because you see the snakes. Cat, untamed, self-ownership, and watching. This is also giving you watch the person watch you struggle. Like they just sat there and was just like, I ain't gonna say nothing. They could have said something. In some issues you asked for them to input. You asked them, but they didn't say nothing. It's just giving, it ain't even wolf in sheep clothing. Like, you know, this is like, and again, it's giving family. Like, you know, some of these people don't mean you no good, Cancer. And that may be something that is reoccurring in your bloodline. Like, y'all may be kinfolk, but y'all ain't blood. Like, you know, even if you are blood, y'all not family. You know how they say some folks ain't skin folk. You know, they skin folk, but they ain't kinfolk. Like, you know how the sayings go. We have wolf here. This is the self without others, a calling, great expanse. And like I said, you have to be ferocious about this healing and rebuilding. But this is also a loner energy. The self without others, a calling, and the great expanse. You going on this journey of healing and rebuilding is going to be for you. Wolf is loner energy. Wolf can travel in packs, but they don't necessarily have to. They really don't necessarily have to, because it's giving alpha. You're the leader. And I feel like part of this is Some people see that leadership quality in you, especially your family members. They see that leadership and quality in you and they don't like it, and they mad because they ain't got it, or they don't want to rise to the occasion, and they want to tear you the fuck down. All right, that's all I got on that. I went overtime. If you have any specific questions, my email is in my bio in terms of how to heal this, rebuild, release all this trauma from your bloodlines. I definitely can help you with that. I'm doing a class if you in the Chicagoland area, but again, if you want more information on that, email me. Thank you, Cancer. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment.